Hey guys, John, your favorite vlogger, and I want to talk now about um, alt tech. If you don't know what that means, alternative tech sites, alternative tech firms, technology. Um, in this instance, basically, I'm talking about video sites and social media sites that are considered alternative because they do something differently or they're just a smaller competitor to some of these giants that we've come to know, sometimes love and sometimes hate, like Facebook and YouTube. Um, and if you are watching this on YouTube, please, I implore you to check out Alt Tech. But I'm going to go over a review of some of the most popular websites. First are the video websites. So you have Bitchute. And I've said a few times, I don't like the name. I hate to be nitpicky about something, but I just feel like branding is important if you want most regular normies to be able or interested in joining a website. Um, it ought to look user friendly, but name aside, the website is very functional. It looks kind of like YouTube. The search feature is functional. It's easy to find videos on different topics. Um, I have almost no complaints about it. Obviously, it's not as widespread on the topic base as YouTube. It's not a Nazi site. If anybody tells you that, they're full of shit. It's not. The only reason they would have offensive content, as long as it's not threatening or it's recruiting terrorists or showing violence. If you're giving an opinion or an idea that is considered not acceptable by polite society, they'll still let you post it. And at this point in the world, in America at least, and Western Europe really, and Canada, and Australia, and yeah, at this point in Western society, you have a lot of topics that you can't really talk about. Like, you could believe in the acceptance and normalcy of transgenderism. I don't. A lot of people do. But you could be for that and also against child transitioning, or against the complete abolition of gender norms. Um, you could be okay with people being gay, but want to speak about, like me, which I've done, about the harmful parts of the LGBT community, the um, identity politics, the high rates of drug use, high rates of mental issues, the social pressure to be sassy and rude and act like a stereotype and denounce your manhood. Let's be real. Like, that's how things that would criticize the LGBT community. I'm in a gay relationship. It doesn't mean I hate gay people. It doesn't mean I'm self-loathing. It means that I'm willing to call people out on their bullshit. Um, so if you use a website like YouTube or Twitter, especially, or even Facebook, and you talk about these issues, especially LGBT issues, but also especially issues of race, issues of politics, if you're not a far lefter, basically you have no way to express your voice on mainline tech anymore. And I've talked to some people about this that have no idea what I'm talking about because they're liberals and they're just like, yeah, I think that's a right wing conspiracy theory, and I'm like, it's not. I mean, I can show proof. I can show screenshots of me being fact checked. I was fact checked on a coronavirus post that I made on Facebook, which I have since deleted Facebook. Screw that. I put a post listing CDC websites statistics, and they fact checked me with the same statistics. But if you don't click on see why, learn more on my fact check, quote unquote, you're not going to know that I was saying the same thing. People are going to see that and be like, oh, he's just talking bullshit, he's lying. Well, I was saying the exact same thing they were. It's propaganda. It's brainwashing, and as I said in my last video, I'm extremely against that. I'm for truth. I'm for logic. I'm for reality. Just reality, guys. And in reality, you have people with various experiences, and those experiences mold their opinions. You have people with various levels of indoctrination into different political, religious, social groups, and all of that will also affect your opinion, your behavior, the way you think, the way you see the world, in various ways to various degrees. That said, you cannot prioritize any of those people's opinions over another. But before I make this video too long, I'm going to go over the rest of the website. So Bitchute, highly recommend. Please, if you are interested at all in using the website, even just making an account and subscribing to me or subscribing to a few people who you like, um, it would go a long way if everybody did that a little bit to really making the site even bigger. It has increased in size and popularity over the years, and not years, but months, couple of years maybe. Um, so yeah, give it a try, guys. I definitely recommend it. There's another website called Rumble that is for YouTube, or like a YouTube alternative, supposedly. But I want to say, although I'm for the idea of having plenty of competitors as far as the competition goes, Rumble be slacking because it's not user friendly. It's difficult to use. It's slow. It's not self-explanatory. It seems to have very limited types of videos. It seems to only really have the same videos that would be on Trump's page or certain just a few of the prominent conservatives pages, but even not. I mean, I don't think the Daily Wire is on there. I don't think Candace Owens is on there. I mean, you have a lot of, well, even if you're in the conservative world and you want to just watch that content, I still would not highly recommend Rumble. But I started an account there and I started posting. I will keep posting there in addition to BitChute and YouTube. Um, just because, just in case, hopefully they improve and become a better site and it'll be a better competitor. A lot of people that I watch who are independent creators like to use it, so I'm like, okay, I'll give it a try. I'll try it. Um, and I will be doing certain videos on BitChute exclusively. Certain things that I cannot talk about. I talked about LGBT issues on this channel. I received a warning for one. I received a few of my videos have been not allowed to be viewed by people under 18, even though there's nothing violent or inappropriate or, I even tried to cut back on my cussing. I doubt that everybody who cusses in a video has that problem. I definitely see a reason for it. Another reason, aside from direct infringements of free speech, that are very plain and obvious that I am interested in using alt-tech video sites is because the ability to become a, well-known, especially even if you're not a conservative commentator per se, to be able to become a well-known person who is openly a Trump supporter or a conservative is very limited. It's very difficult. There's not a lot of ability. You don't get put on the front page. Even some of the most well-known, well-famous people, their YouTube channels are basically kept up by, just by having a fan base that already looks for their content and already subscribes. And even then, a lot of them talk about getting, especially independent creators. Bigger ones like the Daily Wire might not have as much of a problem, but independent content creators, guys like me, who get in front of a camera and just start talking, often have this problem. And people will point out it's not just conservatives, you're not victims. True, it's anybody without the mainstream liberal point of view, far left point of view that currently goes in line with the establishment of the Democratic Party. So yeah, it's going to include some liberals. It's going to include basically all conservatives and libertarians. That's going to concern people, anybody who talks about Chinese politics in any kind of detail. There's people who speak English talking about China, and they get shadow banned out the ass because, according to both of our political parties, you're not allowed to say anything good about the country, even if it's not necessarily about the government, because we want to think that they are just falling apart, their country is shit. And if you show good stuff, well, it doesn't go with the narrative. So YouTube is not going to allow you to become very popular, and you're going to have a problem. So I would highly recommend, for those reasons, if you're a creator, use alt-tech, use BitChute primarily. I'll also be checking out Odyssey, and I think there's another one that a lot of people are trying to use. But I'm not going to speak on those right now because I haven't used them. I visited, but I haven't posted or anything. And then last point, in addition to video sites, you also have sites like Facebook that are, doing the same thing as YouTube, actually worse. Twitter is, I mean, if anybody watched my videos, I got banned from Twitter twice. One first time for telling people they shouldn't wish death upon Trump. I said it was disgusting and awful. I didn't use any cuss words. I didn't directly insult anybody. I said it was horrible and disgusting. And I got my account got a warning for. I think I said banned a moment ago, but I got a warning for posting violent words. I don't remember the vocabulary they used, but it was bullshit. Then when I got back on there again, I went and I said that you cannot change your gender. That, you can live and dress and talk however you want, but technically you cannot change your sex. There was somebody talking about how they were so depressed and all this stuff. I responded to several people. One of them was a person who said, they were so depressed and it hasn't gotten any better since they transitioned to female, but they still know it's the right choice because this is who I am, goddammit. If you don't accept it, then fuck you. I was like, well, if you have mental health problems and you think the cause is that you're supposedly a woman and then you allegedly become a woman and you still have the same problems, maybe you ought to get other things checked out about your well-being aside from your gender confusion. Well, I used the term gender confusion. Apparently that's the hate speech. Got banned again. They wanted me to put my ID in, my address, and my phone number and all this information, and then wait 12 hours to be reinstated. I'm not going to give them my information. I'm not giving Big Brother a way to track me further. No, thank you. So yeah, if you experience something like that, I would recommend Gab, gab.com. It's pretty good. It's kind of a mix between Facebook and Twitter. I still miss the MySpace days, y'all, where you could post memes, community bulletins, status updates. You had a whole personalized wall of different stuff. You post your pictures. Gab isn't really for all that. It's a little more Facebooky, but it's also more Twittery, mostly just for posting statuses. There's a lot of political shit on there too, just like there is on Twitter, but it's not censored, so I would recommend it. Parler, same thing, only Parler is just Twittery. You just post short statuses. You can repost stuff, post links, whatever. One of my main problems with Twitter, even if they did not censor you out the ass, is that it's basically if you want to go in there and bitch with strangers about politics, or follow political commentators or celebrities who never just make it about art or acting, they always make it about politics. You can go on there and do that, and you can you can follow people that are famous and they get a bunch of attention and they have Twitter fights and then they post it on their YouTube channels and it goes on the news. We watch it in the news and they're like, oh, Candace Owens had a fight with SJW celebrity number 527. As much as it's interesting and entertaining, like I just don't have time for all that bullshit. Parler's kind of the same thing, minus all the censorship. So if you like that kind of bullshit, yeah, Parler's pretty good. If you like that kind of bullshit with a little bit more of an ability to actually make friends on the platform, Gab is pretty good. I might just give up social media altogether. I haven't decided, but I'll give the alt tech platforms, as far as Gab and Parler, a little bit more of a chance before I totally make a decision on that. But on that note, I would really recommend those four websites, primarily Bitchute and Gab. There's not a lot of information. I looked everywhere to try to find out what other people said, anything about the website, but there's nothing. So I am giving to you guys part of the information next to the little to nothing that exists about it. Otherwise, you can go and check it out for yourself and form your own opinion. And I recommend, I welcome anybody to talk to me in the comments below. If this is on YouTube or if you've seen me on one of the other sites, what do you think? Do you like this site? Do you like the other sites? Have you experienced censorship? Let us know in the comments, and I will see you guys next time.